こんばんは。皆さん、お元気でしょうか？はい。ということで、Good evening. How are you all doing? Oh, how are we all doing? KP, Nada, Walker, welcome in, welcome in. I am tired. I'm really tired. It seems like not bad at all at work. You got me on in the background on the second monitor. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm a bit wrecked today. I feel like always these Tuesday streams are a little bit like this. I haven't got the light on. It got me on in the background. Ooh, that's falling. Welcome in, welcome in. I feel like these Tuesday streams are always a little bit like this. A little bit like end of a work day. A little bit wrecked today. I got a bit of eye strain coming on the last like 4 days. It's been building, and today should have gone to bed a little earlier yesterday, I guess. I actually got a little bit more sleep, but I think we'll be all right. I've got a bit of a. Sometimes when you get eye strain, you get like a tension headache thing, start from the back of the neck. Anyway, enough complaints. Some prints that need to be made. Let's get to it. Not much of a preamble today. Not much has happened. Let's just switch to, what is this? Let's switch to the block and let's get going. We're obviously working on bonsai. It's Tuesday. It's the only hour and a half that the block gets worked on. I was doing a little head count just before the stream, what projects I'm working on. How many are there? I'm doing the Atelier Cento print. That's Mokankan work. I'm doing, speaking of which, that's here. Maybe I can just show you the key block quickly. I finished the key block and I took a quick impression, and there's a couple areas you can see that I touched up a little bit. A couple little sharp bits, a couple little things that were needed to be a little thinner, give them a bit more taste. So yeah, there it is. Easy, simple, clean work. That's all done. That you'll see that in when October, thereabouts, I think. Yeah, so I've got that one. I'm working on the samurai, which is also more kankan. I have cleared out the next anime print. Thank you. Title says Atelier Cento. I think I have some notes for these. Jeez. Thank you for catching that early. Where is it? Oh, reach over. Thank you for that early catch. Command V. Remember to capitalize the M. Ooh. There we go. Shifter as well. 9 pixels. Thank you for that catch. Very professional streamer. Yeah, exactly. It's a good thing I'm not making a living doing this, isn't it? I told you I was tired. Give me a little bit of break. Okay, enough of the sleepy stream. Let's go. What was I saying? Jesus, it's going to be one of them. 2 projects for Mokankan. Tracing is coming along very slowly. That block is done. I have some news about the blocks that I'll talk to you a little bit later. I've got the bonsai print, and then I've also got the anime print for Asuka Sensei, which is for a different company. It's for a different publisher. And I finished the knife work on that, and I finished the clearing, and I'm maybe a third of the way through the Ice-Ski work on that one. When did I start that project? I started that on the 16th, so it's been, well, exactly 3 weeks. So that key block will be done easily in under a month. I think got just over a week to finish that off. Do you ever do any printing? I occasionally do some printing. Most recently, I just did a little. The only printing really I do is for Patreon. And that's sort of out of necessity. I can print, but like I'm not a professional printer by any means. But like I'm a competent printer is what I describe myself as. It's not really something that I'm all that enthused about. When I'm doing it, it's fun, but to do it full time, carving is much more my thing. I enjoy this a lot more. Gomenasai. You don't need to apologize. Welcome in. Little joke there. Let's get to it. Let's get carving. How are we all doing? Anyone got any news? First slice into the block. Maybe we're a little bit off camera. Does that seem right? Not really. I can change the focus a little. Oh, that works. Very professional. I'm on two minds what to do with this. I wanted really over the weekend to get the U-gouging done. Is that something? Maybe we'll do a little bit of the U-gouging at the start of each of these streams, and we'll get just for the section we're going to do. Typically, I do all the U-gouge work, hand U-gouging in one step, but because I cleared this quickly to get it ready for stream, I didn't get a chance to do the U-gouging, and it's actually a little bit tricky with the ice ski to. It feels a little bit dangerous because I haven't gone up right into the little bits, and it's pretty tricky to clear stuff like this here. To come in straight with an ice ski like this, it's a little bit dangerous. What happens is that there's so much wood here that it applies pressure, too much pressure to the side of the lines. If I came in with a U-gouge and cleared all this stuff nicely first, if I come in with a U-gouge like this, get the depth I want eventually, and then I come in with a smaller chisel and I clear along this, it's much safer. There's not really any much strength to the wood there, and so it's a lot less likely for the wood to sort of rip and pull. I was in the Hokusai exhibition in France yesterday. A number of paintings that I'd never had. A number of paintings they had were quite impressive. Hokusai paintings or prints? Because he did do both. What's the Nantis? A painting specifically. Oh yeah. I've seen a few of his paintings. They're obviously when we think of Hokusai, most of the stuff we think of is his prints. The style, obviously, the way he draws characters and stuff is really iconic. You can spot a Hokusai face, a Hokusai hand, the pointy fingers, and the gnarled toes and stuff like that, and the way he does the muscles. It's really iconic, and that carries over into his paintings. But the way it's finished, it sometimes looks a little bit different. It's more of a, obviously it's Nihonga. It's painted in the more traditional style of silk painting. So it's for me, because all I look at is the bumpy muscles. Yeah, all I look at is most of the stuff I look at is the prints. It's always quite funny for me to see the paintings because it's obviously Hokusai. It's really clearly Hokusai, but it's got such a different feel to it. He's so good. I always feel a little bit like basic when people ask me who's your favorite artist, Japanese artist. I always feel a little bit basic saying Hokusai. It makes me sound perhaps like I'm not that knowledgeable about prints. It's like, oh, because that's the answer that like 90% of the people would say, right? They'd say Hokusai or Hiroshige. He's just so good with the brush, you know. It's quite a thing to be iconic from a single stroke. Like you can just see a flick and you just know that it's Hokusai. I've carved. He's probably the artist I've done the most carvings of, I guess. In my early days, I did a lot of training on the 100 Views of Mount Fuji, which is if you don't know, it's a little book, um, mostly printed in black and white. There's a few, like maybe 2 or 3 color blocks for each print. It's 100 pictures, sort of depicting Mount Fuji. It's one of the most incredible pieces of woodblock printed material ever made, I think. I've never seen an original physical copy, but my God, that would be one of the ones I'd get my hands on if I could, but I don't have the money for that. And probably I won't be able to afford all of them. There was one that was amazing that looked like Great Wave. I believe it was one of his last works called Feminine Wave and Masculine Wave. I'm not sure of the actual names for a lot of silk paintings. It wasn't. There was an original feminine wave, but a replica of the masculine one. Apparently, a national treasure. Only one of them can leave the country at a time. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. How did the replica compare to, if you hadn't read the blurb, could you have spotted that one was a replica? How good was it? I'm trying to get started carving a Hiroshige print, a full Oban or a slightly smaller. Which print are you working on? Doing reproduction work is really good. Chuma. Doing reproduction work is really good practice. I didn't start on doing reproduction work in my training, but it's really good way. And the good thing about doing reproduction work is your first, like your early day reproductions are really not going to be. Well, maybe you think they're great, and that's cool, but they give you a marker to sort of gauge your work because you can see what it should look like, and you can see where you're falling short, and then you can also on my own camera. You can also then redo them later down the line. One of the things about starting off on your own projects is that you have a lot more freedom to play around. So you don't have to be as technically accurate. There's nothing to compare it to because it's an original piece. You can just say, oh yeah, that's the style, or that's the way I intended to do it. But when you're doing reproductions, there's a standard already set. So in that case, it's really good practice. One of the 36 views. Unfortunately, I couldn't take time to properly stop and examine. I was enjoying a guided tour. Oh, okay. Good luck with that first print. Is it your first print? Or have you been doing for a little while? They had a full set of the 36 views of Mount Fuji. The Great Wave is the main piece. Hmm. 6,700 copies of the original. I don't know all the statistics and all the research on the Great Wave. There's so much on the Great Wave. That seems like an extremely high number for a block set. I believe it. They ran those blocks until they were dead, but those later copies, they were rough. All of the exhibition came from the Hokusai Museum. Then there's a good chance that the one that they're displaying are not actually the original prints. They might just be showing replicas. The Hokusai Museum, most of them are actually replicas. They have the original prints, so they have the authority to say about the original, but most of the actual prints on the wall, unless it's their special exhibitions, like they do temporary exhibitions, but the ones on their permanent exhibition on the top floor, well, it's a permanent exhibition, so I understand, but I was a little bit disappointed when I went there for the first time. Most people wouldn't notice. 100% on that point. I feel way more comfortable in the original stuff. Printing reproductions feels more stressful. Well, it shouldn't be stressful. It's just going to show the areas of difference, but just hold them at arm's length. Good luck. What have I been up to? What did we do? I took a proper day off on Saturday, and I had a bit of a family day. We went to Yotsuya Sanchome, and we went to a place called the Toy Museum, Tokyo Toy Museum or something it's called. And we used to live literally a minute and a half away from that place. It's in an old, I guess it's elementary school or middle school. And they turned it into a bit of a toy museum. It's not like, it's a toy museum, but it's more dedicated to like kids actually playing. It's less museum and more like play place. It's a really nice place. They got all their toys are made out of wood, and they have like a board game, like a game room on top, little theme rooms on top, and then they've got like everything's made out of wood. They got stuff like Kapla, and it was really good. Tuku, our son, is walking now, so he was having lots of fun there. It was really fun. So we did that on Saturday. Went back, saw our old place. Everything seems much smaller when you revisit somewhere you used to live. And I thought that was mostly just an artifact of like you being small when you're little, and then you go back to where you grew up or something, and everything seems smaller. But it was only a couple of years ago we were living in Shinjuku. It was funny that it all seemed a lot smaller. where do you cut off original prints? There is a very long discussion there. Yeah. The way the museums do it, it means original block set. But yeah, as you say in the comment, they have different. They've recarved blocks and stuff. Yeah. So in that case, it comes down to the key block, because once you have to recarve a key block, all the color blocks are mute. So it would mean original key block. If we have Chuckle Brother references, we can call the ship of Theseus Paradox by its UK comedy name, Trigger Broom. I know the Chuckle Brothers, but I'm not getting this reference. I'm sorry. I know to me, to you, to me, to you. Wasn't that the only thing they used to say? They had other quotes. Chuckle Brothers, Jesus. That's a deep cut, that one. And one that the majority of... Triggers Broom! Sorry. I got it. Same broom, replace the head 6 times and the handle 5 times or whatever. About your works on the Hokusai Reborn series, the creative process of these prints was quite unique because you could carve using the original design. How do you choose where the line goes, this way or that way? Do you study calligraphy or reference to other, and are able to understand other artists' visions? One is I've done a lot of Hokusai reproductions. I know, and I've looked really intensely at a lot of reference material, particularly just before that. I didn't just dive into that project. I did lots of research. And luckily his body of work is so vast that every image in that series, he tended to draw designs and make small alterations, but he was sort of, because he's drawing from memory, he'd do like the same things. You see, obviously his horses come up a lot, but his cormorants, the way he draws cormorants, they're always in the same pose like that. And he's done silk painting ones of these, and they've been in prints, and so there's like loads of really good reference to how they were dealt with in the past. I dealt with his lines with a real amount of reverence, not wanting to change much. And so the prints I made probably ended up with maybe, well, definitely the early ones when I was taking over from Asuka Sensei. When I was doing the tracings for him, he didn't want me to change anything, which I think was a step too far, because a lot of the lines were very messy. But for the ones I made solely by myself, and I got to do the tracings for myself, I changed things that were clearly mistakes. I have studied calligraphy as well, but not really extensively, not as much as I really should have. Gomenasai, thank you for the sub. Arigato. Maybe we can drop in a little one of these. I only got one of these at a stream. But arigato gozaimasu. どこなんだあ、はい。
とてもサンキュー。
ありがとうございます。So yeah, I changed very little, and anything I did change was made with reference to other woodblock prints. that shared similar features. Like the head. The head was a complete mess on that last one, that samurai. It was uncarvable the way it was. It needed redrawing. He's done that same Liu Bang. He's made another print of that. I couldn't find any really high quality reference materials for that, but in the actual British Museum companion book for that exhibition, when they were displaying the Hanshita, in that book there is a reference to that print. And then the other biggest reference I used for that last one was a couple of his books about Chinese and Japanese warriors. And there was 2 volumes of that, and I sort of used that as a reference. So any of the background motifs was all taken from that, or from those prints. So I mixed and matched features. And for the color blocks, I made like lots of different samples. I asked some people, everyone had a different opinion, and that gave me the leeway to make my own decision, because there wasn't a consensus. So I took bits and bobs, and I wanted to kind of push it as well, because it was an important project for me. When I first heard about that project, would have been a couple of years before you guys heard about it, I was a little bit depressed at first. I hadn't been carving super long at that. Oh no, ads. Sorry, I didn't warn you guys. That's going to be a meme now, isn't it? Oh, ads, I didn't warn you. So yeah, I was a little bit, maybe I can repeat this a little bit after, but I was a little bit upset when that project first came out. I'd only been carving maybe 4 years, but probably not. Was it 4 years? Maybe not even, I'd maybe been carving 3.5, 4 years at that point, and I knew that it wasn't going to be something I could jump on, and it was sort of a dream project for me to do that. Welcome in. Put Jin in. So I was a little bit sad when I first heard about that project. I thought Dave and Chon-san and Asuka Sensei were going to get all the glory, and I couldn't participate. So I had planned all along to do like a 13th print to go in that series. But it turned out I was up to snuff, and things sort of happened that gave me a shot. My stomach, did you all hear that? When you were in the UK, will you get to talk to the BM about the Hokusai series as well? Yeah, we'll talk about that. I did actually speak to them, as it was when they received the first one that I carved. My name was in the blurb, and a couple other people sent me congratulations and messaged me about that, saying that they were glad to have me on board and stuff, which was very nice of them. They didn't have to do that. the project pushed you to improve dramatically quick, didn't you? Having mentors to trust you and teach you must have been quite amazing. It did. I improved a lot during it. What it did do the most was the situation sort of I was aware that I could do it. I was confident I could do it, but no one else around me was confident I could do it. Because nobody had given me projects like that. And then when I did do it, all those doubts sort of had to be zipped and no one could say anything. Like traditionally, there's not a chance in hell that I would ever be offered that, and I would never even ask to jump on a project like that. But like, in secretly, I was like, let me at it. It was a really memorable project. Shonen story. Perhaps one day we'll have an anime based on it. On a recent stream, Dave did talk about hearing protection with hammering. Is that something you do? It's mannayo. I've been wearing. I always wear my AirPods with the noise cancellation on. So yeah, I do. But I'm a little bit concerned about these actually. I want to replace them because they're very expensive. I didn't realize how expensive they were, and I'm a little bit shocked I even bought that. The price must have gone up or something because there's no way I'd have bought these. I've noticed with the AirPods, they like over time they start to the mic maybe breaks down in them, and they start to get like a squeak in the background, and I think that's probably worse than the hammering sounds actually. And it's the reason why you may have seen in another video, Chicken Meister was saying it sounded like I was doing a paid promotion for COS. But in my latest video, I had a thing about headphones that I just bought a new pair. And it's because these AirPods are starting to have like a background squeaking hum, which I'm not a fan of. But I still wear them when I'm clearing. I was doing clearing yesterday, and I got this super sharp, very satisfying. Within like I don't sharpen this as often as I should, and I think it's a common thing with most carvers. They don't keep their big chisels that sharp because you don't use them all that often. They come around like every now and again, and they take a long time to sharpen. But I gave this one a really good sharpen, and it was like flew through it. And it was a reminder to me to keep on sharpening that. they're not hard to sharpen. They just take time. You just gotta keep going. They're really forgiving. The knives are so much harder to sharpen. AirPods are very expensive. I have a third-party set of wireless headphones, which are much cheaper. Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna do some research to see if there are any better noise cancelling headphones, because I think the noise cancelling is pretty good on the AirPods. The thing I like about them though is that you just don't ever have to think about connecting them. Everything's automatic. And I'm not the biggest Apple fan, but like, just works. I was really resistant to getting anything Apple for the longest time, because I knew that once I was like in the ecosystem, that I just find everything too convenient and I'd end up with everything. Iona was saying your little one is up and walking, so now you have to childproof your carving room. Well, there's not really any childproof in it. I sit on a raised platform and my tools, they kind of have to be here. I do have a plan to make, I have a little Hanson next to me, a little tool drawer thing. And I want to make a knife sort of organization thing so I can keep them all inside a drawer. Currently I have them in a big wrap, like a roll. Tool rolls are very handy. I have a tool roll that I made. I really like it. It's good when I was going back and forth to the studio, but I want to have them in a drawer. That would be safer. But the problem is that I want a new set of tools, and I don't want to have to do all the I want to make it really nice. The box I want to do like foam, and then I want to do little wooden inlays to hold all the tools in the proper order. Really anal stuff. But I don't want to have to do that twice, so I'm just keeping them in the roll for now. It's been a few years. We'll get there eventually. But he's not really allowed in the bedroom unless like he's on our knee or holding someone's hand, so it's not really a problem. You can only reach the tools if he like starts to clamber onto my raised platform. And the door is closed, but the thing about him walking is that he's been walking. He's not able to get anything new now that he's walking, because what he used to do is crawl, then he'd pull himself up, and then he'd just get into anything he wanted to get into. The only difference now is that he can walk between the places he wants to get into. So not really much change there. The door to the cobble is just closed. New tools. Well, yeah, like 3 years ago I ordered new tools. One day they'll come. And I'm sort of hounding people now about them. These tools actually are a little bit too short. Can you see that? That's the wrong size tool. So for all my carving thing, I was measured wrong the first time, which I'm not too happy about. And I don't like the copper jackets. I want to go to the shamisen ito. So yeah, I need an extra centimeter on my tools so that it's comfortable. The tools should come to there. That's how your tool should be sized. And actually, I think it's causing me a little bit of repetitive stress injury because I'm holding my hand a little bit tensed when it should be much flatter. So I want about another 0.8 to 1 cm mils on the end of this. It would be a little bit more comfortable for me. And also, I'm tired of getting green fingers. If you're only carving a little bit every now and again, it's not so bad. But when you're doing it all day, every day, in sweaty hands, I end up with a green finger most days. And it digs into the side there. Can you see that? It's not, the edges are all rounded, so it's not bad. But it begins to hurt, and I get bruises there every now and again. I want new tools. I want new tools. I want new tools. And I wanted them 3 years ago. You do realize babies grow. They do, yeah. But like the way our house is, there's like the levels. He's not nowhere near reaching the third level. He can reach the second level of everything, and he's been able to reach the second level for a long time. It becomes easier for him to reach the things on the second level, but like the third level, he's a long way off. So in terms of actual, like practically getting different stuff, he's not. He's a little while off. Green tape. Are you talking about green tape on my fingers or green tape to cover the brass? Because neither of them do I want. I won't be taping my tools ever. So the description for how long it should be right in there in the nook. Let's flip to the camera because this is an important point. The way you hold your tools, the size they should be. This should be nestled in there, and your hand should be. If you just put your hand completely straight, it's going to look massive. That's not a comfortable way to hold it. So there should be just a relaxed, like a hand on a mouse type posture to your hand. That's the distance it should be. When I got these made, I think I must have held my hand like this. I didn't know any different. And I thought that's the position it should be. But it's way too, it's much too more flex than I would enjoy it. That's where my hand would naturally rest on these tools. So the thumb on the side, finger on the side, finger on top. That's how you hold it. And the cap should come to the end. And with your knives, like changing the size is not a problem. But with these, because there's a pin, you can't really change the size. You need to get them, you can cut them down. You can cut them down from here, and then the cap cover you can shave back with a file. But to get them longer, it's not possible, obviously. It's a little bit of a faff to shave them down, but that's how you do it. I have ordered new handles, but I also want some high quality steel. These are like a medium quality steel. The ones I'm getting now. The difference, the blades I now use, for example, this steel is like 6,000 yen per blade, but the ones I started with is like 4,000 yen per blade. So it's a little bit of a higher quality steel. It holds an edge slightly better, less prone to chipping, but in terms of actual doing it, it just means you have to sharpen a little bit less. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. Would the woodblock, the print, or the topic of the print be a bonsai? Yes, it would be. I should do this more often. Here is an image of the print. And also, welcome in. Are you into bonsais? Cryogy? This is the print I'm making. It's needs some Sheffield steel. I think this is probably nice, to be fair. Here is the real bonsai. The bonsai is by, I don't know who originally collected it. This is styled by Bjorn from ASEAN, and I think he donated it to Nashville bonsai museum. I think that's where it's living now because he's moved back to Japan. I think that's where it's living now. But this is an original design based on that bonsai. If you are new here, welcome. It's funny what people come in with their first. Are you from Sheffield by any chance, Rob? I used to know the Sheffield football song. Ah, okay, obviously. That's why I put the title there at the bottom. Yeah, the block itself, you can see here. This is the lines. There's the pot, there's the branches, there's a scroll. This is what we're working on. Do the shamisen strings not make the moving the blade in and out when it gets short more of a pain than a metal sheath? Can you wrap a sheath over a sheath as a temporary stopgap? It does, but honestly speaking, what I value more is the comfort of not having a metal cap there and being able to have a nice, smooth, rounded piece of wood. And really, not very often are these extended. You don't have to change them very often. Very, very rarely do you pull them out. Because each time you sharpen them, you're only taking tiny little fractions. And you don't end up sharpening. Your knife, you're sharpening every day. But the other tools, because you've got a lot of other tools, the big ones a little bit more than the smaller ones. But these, they're not used for that much work, you know, especially this little one. It's very rarely used. So you got a good long while until you have to take it out. I guess this U-gouging is a little bit boring now. Let's move on to something else. Welcome in, Sirius. Let's do some of this. Get a big chisel. Focus. Metal at the front, what holds the blade in place. So I can show you. So there's a cap, and the cap just sits over the top. The front is open. It's just a cylinder. The tips of these are bent, and so that digs into the wood. That's how it stays in place. Ooh, you can see I don't open this very often. There's a little bit of rust forming in there. I'll add some oil to it. But you can see here actually, I've added a little bit of chip because I have moved it forward, but as I've been using it, it's pushed back. The wood's not very strong. So I put a little bit of wood behind it in the old groove where it's like scratched. But you said you want something other than brass rings. Yeah, the alternative, instead of the brass ring is there to stop it because it slides open like this. Instead of having a brass ring there, you wrap like a nylon cord around, essentially. Or silk cord from a shamisen, which is like a Japanese guitar. So that's what I want. I want to switch to shamisen binding. Is it very hard to make a handle? I'm totally speaking of ignorance, but it looks pretty simple design. Yeah, it's a pretty simple design. I don't have a very good woodworking shop. Tools and stuff. Japanese houses are very small. I had a bunch of stuff in the UK. I haven't touched the top of that one. And I thought, I placed an order, and then I waited a long time, and then I checked up on the order, and then I waited a long time, and then I checked up again, and I said, I'm just going to make my own stuff. Can you tell me? And I've been told every time I call, oh yeah, any day now, any day now, any day now. It comes soon, probably the next order. So I go, okay, I'm not going to start work on my tools. And then they won't come, and I'll go, where's my tools? And then I said, yeah, they'll be coming with the next order. They had a problem with the ebony, the koktan. I go, okay, please let me know, because I'll make my own tools. Like, I'll go out and I'll make my own tools. And they don't come in the same pattern, and it goes on. I've been out, I've bought ebony, I've bought all the stuff I need. I don't really have the time to do it, and I don't have the setup, because I want to do it really nice. I want to finish it really nice. What's this? I would like a new, where is that? Searching for, I would like a new knife blade. Because of the quality of the steel, or you just want a new one? Could be sharper. I'm not blaming it. The quality of the steel won't get you a sharper edge. That is on you. Quality of the steel won't charge the sharpness of the edge. The quality of the steel will let you hold an edge better. Unless you've got terrible steel, but that's a skill issue, that. Actually, you know what it is? It's probably the stone. I'm on the hunt for a new sharpening stone as well. But the stone is probably your biggest limiting factor. Like, medium steel for knives is like, I personally can't tell the difference when I'm sharpening. It'll just have less imperfections. Like, occasionally on some of the lower grade steel, you'll reach like a point, it'll just keep chipping. And it's like, I'm not taking it too thin. It'll just keep chipping, and it's very frustrating. It's just you've hit a bad spot in the metal. That happens less with higher quality steel. It seems to hold an edge a little bit better, but maybe that's just placebo. It's been a while since I used the medium steel. I use a diamond plate and a lapping film on a smith for finding polish. But that's the key. If you want a sharper knife, get a finishing stone. You really can't beat a good finishing stone. I'm in the market for a new finishing stone. Oh, knocked the brush over. It's so bright. This has got a bunch of clay in it. Where's the colour I'm looking for? So it should be the ones we use. They're usually the yellow stones. The one I'm looking for a narrow, a little bit longer than this. And I want to spend about 100,000 yen for a nice stone, a little bit darker yellow than this. This one is a little bit soft. If you want a nice sharp thing, lapping film is super fine. Matt, I don't have any experience. a really, really good stone. It's the clay that does the polishing. I don't know about these lapping films. I've heard them and I've heard people talk about them. I don't have an experience, so I'll just back off that one. I would never. It's not that. You can get some nice stones, finishing stones, for not that expensive. I think mine costs like, mine's only like 8,000 yen. It's really not a very expensive one, and it's done me the first 6 years of my training and career now. I've been to some stone shops quite a few times, and I've had a look through their stocks. But I can never find the exact one I want. I did a tiny bit of stropping. I had a leather strop. I had a straight razor before, so I had a leather strop that I tried the stropping with that, and it was basically pointless for me because I'm taking the final edge off. After I do the strop, I give it 2 or 3 strokes along the back, just taking off that very fine edge, and that fine edge is what the strop is creating, so it was a redundant point in my process. I did experiment with stropping a little bit. For me, I know there's a few other carvers up there who are finding it useful. It was a bit of a redundant part in my experience. Belcher's Brocken. You can pay so much money for these natural stones. Natural stones can be ridiculously expensive, and I'm looking for a ridiculously expensive one. Well, reasonably ridiculous. I want a good one. I'm at the point where I can handle a good one. It makes sense for me. I've been searching for a little while now.
剣と違い
What was that reward? No one's ever used these other rewards, you know. I didn't actually hear what that one was. Oh, off camera. Arigato. That's the first time that's been used. Where are we carving? Here? Arigato. Oh, I don't want to do this one on camera, you know. A bunch of them. Can you see here? There's a bunch of small lines and the paper has come off. I want to go a little bit carefully. It'd be so easy for me to take a bunch of branches off here just randomly. I think I'll work on a different area. Some of the main branches there are okay, but I'll end up taking a couple branches off if I do that right now, I think. We'll save that. Let's just come up here. Get a bit of oil. we'll do this section. Much less risky. On camera. So today I was actually supposed to go to Mokohankan. I showed you the key block earlier for that new print. I need some color blocks, and there are no color blocks made up at the moment. So I was supposed to go to Mokohankan today to make some blocks with Dave. And I'm not really sure. I called him up, made a plan. And I got a message from Ayano saying that plan was off. The wood he thought he was going to use was not Sakura. So, change of plan, we're going to have to reschedule it. Which is going to get a little tricky, actually, because I don't know, I haven't actually spoken to Ayano about it. But he should be starting on printing. I'm guessing he'll be printing on Thursday, surely. So if he hasn't started already, I'm going to be pulling him away to make some new blocks. Maybe I'll give him a call tomorrow, figure out what we can do, when we can arrange it. I would like to get them done. Hopefully, if we can get some blocks sorted, then I will be doing the colour blocks for that on Friday. If not, perhaps in tracing again. Not Sakura, yeah, it looks like it was Honnoki. Which is much softer. We don't really use that. But a lot of people making Sosokanga prints are using it. I've got a sample of it here, actually. What is it? I think he bought some old blocks that had been carved and he was going to split them up. And he cut into it, and this is what he saw. Now on camera here it might not look very different from the one underneath, but in person it's night and day. It's so light. Like, you can hear that, right? It's the wrong stuff. It's terrific. It prints kind of well, but only for a short number. So if you're doing really limited print runs, it's not a bad choice of wood. But if you're doing Magnolia, yeah. Speaking of that, I've got a little bit of a ban. I didn't want to. There is a clip of me calling it Mongolia, and there is a reason for that. I'm not an idiot. The reason is because Asuka Sensei was translating it wrong. Asuka Sensei kept saying Mongolia, and I was like, oh, what's this word? It's a special Japanese word that they call it Mongolia. And I'd never used it. I have no need of that wood. There's no point in me really carving that wood. I don't have any experience with it because you can't print large numbers, and any blocks that I make, by necessity, they're large numbers. So I just took it from him. I went, oh, okay, Mongolia. Okay, maybe The species originates from Mongolia. I didn't research it myself, I just took it as read. Mongolia, height. So I had no idea it was magnolia. I'd never actually even looked at it. So that's why that clip is out there. It's a poor translation from Asuka Sensei that I took as fact. Most of you don't know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, the world famous clip among the carving community. I even wrote to McLean's asking for Mongolia wood. Told them you sent me. Yeah, very good. What wood is it? Mongolia? Magnolia? Magnolia, yeah. Hazukashi. Mindo? Are you getting some good crunching sounds? I know I don't need the clip deleted. I'm not that sensitive. I have my own platform now, so I can set it straight. Once you make a mistake, there's no point trying to explain it in the moment. Oh, that's because of this. You just look desperate and pathetic. So what you do is you play the long game. You hold it deep inside and you let it fester for a few years. You then go and you make your own channel and then you wait for the topic to come up naturally. What you people don't realize is that this whole Twitch thing is just a vessel for me setting the record straight on that Mongolia clip. We all know that I play the long game on things. 5D chess, yeah. There won't be a stream on Friday. I've got it off my chest now. It's all done. Seems like a reasonable response. I'm nothing if not dedicated. And patient. You people don't know patience yet. Just you wait until the real reason I started this stream comes out. Another thing keeps happening after these streams as well, you know. I'll finish a stream and like I'll have waffled on about something for way too long or got like on a tangent. And I remember I had like a main thing I wanted to talk about that stream. And I'll remember it just like 5 minutes after the stream ends. Oh god, yeah, I was supposed to talk about that thing. What's going on with the brain there? Onion. A few of you will get that reference. Not many though, I guess. But I bring that up because I know that there's something I'm supposed to be talking about. There's some... No, it's not there. It'll come. It'll come. Ah, okay. Magnolia wood should be very water resistant. Yeah, like I said, I have no experience personally with it. And the other thing about wood that came up when I was doing the live stream, I have remembered the point. I will get back to it. During the Twitch stream that I did with Dave when I was carving the New Year's card, someone mentioned purple wood. And I don't know if anyone's picked up on my bench, but someone mentioned purple wood, and I was like, I've never heard of purple wood. What's purple wood? And I felt a bit silly there as well. But like, I just never heard it called purple wood. I know what purple heart is. I thought purple wood was a different species of wood. While we're setting the record straight about wood, my bench is made of purple heart. Maybe I told you about Kazuki-san who gave me this. But someone called it purple wood in the chat and never heard it. Is that a North American thing? Do you call purple heart purple wood? It's a beautiful piece of purple wood. Purple wood. If I cut it, shave the top layer, you can see. Beautiful red colour underneath. Or purple. Anyway, the thing I was trying to get to, do let me know if you Americans know it as purple wood. I've never heard it called that before that stream. In the Northwest, it's purple heart. I think that's just the name of the wood. It makes sense. Maybe a broader class. Is there another wood that has sort of a similar hue? Could you class like purple heart as one species that is in the sort of purple wood family? I don't know. Anyway, I had a pretty neat idea, I think. You guys can let me know what you think about a collaborative stream with another streamer. Not in the woodblock printmaking realms, but well, I won't say who it is, I won't give it away, just someone in the art, streaming art on Twitch. They live in Japan, not always, they're back and forth. But I had a little idea to do a slightly different stream, just to give a broad overview of what I do here and to give you guys some perspective. A few of you are making prints yourself. Many of you are not. And so I thought I'd have an idea, get someone who has no understanding and maybe even no interest, we'll see, I'm in talk with this person to come here and make like a really simple first print, not do everything the traditional don't turn the block and do everything like this, but just really basic overview. So if anyone is wanting to make like a simple print or just like give it a go, I am planning to make a pretty intensive like my first print actual tutorial. I don't do much in the way of like tutorial stuff. I'm not really interested in doing much of that, but I do want to do one video where it's like really in depth, everything you need. If I was going to make my first print, I was pretty interested in this. This is how I'd start type video. But the other way of doing this, just like really loose, have fun. Maybe you could even do it this way with kids type thing if you wanted to get someone into it. Simple, how you can make your print quick and easy, one stream. Nothing fancy, one of their designs. It would be one of their designs. I've already talked to them about this. They are in Japan at the moment. I don't know how much time they have now. So maybe this won't happen until the next time they come around. Maybe we can squeeze it in this time. But I think it'll be fun. I chose this person because they've got good chat. I think we could have good communication. It'd just be like a fun, really laid back, chilled stream. But I think it'd be packed with lots of information if you wanted to like teach your kids, or you just wanted to do a fun little print for yourself, but not really interested in taking it any further than that. Just so that anyone, like literally any level, could jump in and do it. I thought it'd be good. We'd place it on YouTube. Yeah, I would. I'd put that one on my main channel, I guess. All my Twitch VODs are archived on a second channel I have. But I think I'd put that one on the main channel. It would be, I'd do some editing, I could do like a little intro to it and stuff. And we'll do it as a bonus stream. Depending on how it goes. No promises. So if all goes to plan, we might have someone else carving on stream. And then I can actually join in with the chat, participate a little bit more, and not completely derail by doing so. King Kong is live over on Twitch. I just got sent a notification now. I'm like, what, 10 minutes from finishing? I wonder how many people actually don't get the notification. Why did I just get sent that now? The design will be probably like a 2-color key block and 1 color. And then with that, you can do some more like painterly sort of printing. Experiment and add some different gradations that are like really easy to do. I think it'll be a fun one. We are all over the block on this today. Clearing is very different to the actual knife work. You keep seeing me like look at the screen, look at the chat, and then come back down in a completely random place. Then I get up, come back down in another random place. each time I look at the chat. It's okay to do with clearing, but it's not really something you can do with the knife work. Just know that when I'm like doing this by myself, I do just like pick a section and work out slowly from that rather than just like good. There are many wonderful prints that are made with only a few colour blocks. Makes you appreciate what a good design can accomplish. I agree. The design for that stream, we haven't talked in detail about it yet, but I'm thinking it's not going to be high art. It'll be quite a simple design. I want it to be really accessible. And it's also someone's first print that they will be doing live. Something to be said about doing more with less. It's a real skill. It's a real skill. It's like one of the markers of someone who really knows what they can do. Picasso with the lines, right? The bull. Simplifying is not easy. Boiling a concept down to its essence. Get a TTS to read the chat in your ear. Is that a thing? Right now, while we're small, it's fine, but if the chat did actually move a little bit faster. I also like that I can TTS I get derailed and sent on tangents enough as it is. And I think if you were fed directly into my head during me talking, we'd never get anything done. It starts reading emojis. I've just done it again. The jumping, we were over here. I've moved back over here. And we're on the part that I said I didn't really want to do on stream as well, aren't we? You mentioned zucchini every time you focused. Wasn't that just the one time? Purple wood might be some local word translated. Ah, that is a very interesting idea, yeah. No, I get the TTS and yeah. I'm just, I don't think I want to have a direct stream of chat in my ear while I'm trying to like focus on a point I'm trying to get across. My stories would probably they'd seem even more ADHD than I come across on stream, I think. Cheers, Speak. I'll see you next time. Thanks for showing up. Bye-bye. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. Not the main thing I'm thinking of. Korigami in the Discord. There's ads starting in 10 seconds. I got it this time. Comment. I'll save that point for after. Let's just do some quiet carving. The ad's gone. We're done. Okay, a couple things before we end the stream. Since I'm enjoying the music in the background. It's very peaceful, especially for these evening streams. If we're going to be doing this, there is a thing I could do. I could put the title of the song on the screen. I haven't figured out how to do that technically yet, but I know it's a thing that can be done. I'd break ends in a minute. Jesus. Just started talking. Anyway, I wanted to hear people's opinions on that. I'll ask again in a minute. If people want that. Something I could figure out how to do. So yeah, I'll just repeat the question. There is a possibility to put the title of the song on the stream. Boxwell says no strong opinion on it. I'd keep it the front unobtrusive, which is my general thought on this as well. Like, I don't like too much clutter on the screen, and I'm even thinking I think the title's probably useful. Like making woodblock bonsai woodblock print. That's probably good for keeping it. Maybe it's not necessary. I'm still thinking. I might remove that though, because it's becoming a thing that I keep forgetting. That's 2 streams in a row where I forgot to change the name of that. Yeah. We'll think. Send me your opinions in the Discord about that. And another thing, Korigami put in the Discord a song suggestion, and it got me thinking about perhaps I could put a new channel in the Discord, and I could people could give their suggestions for music to go onto a playlist. I have a playlist. I have a Spotify account and a playlist that I'm using for this. I'm adding music to it slowly. You can sort of get the vibe. It's roughly like 1950s thereabouts, sort of jazzy good time stuff. But there's a bunch of other more modern jazz in there as well that I enjoy. But if you have suggestions along that line and you wanted to suggest some more songs, I could make a new channel and we could add some stuff in there. Probably Celtic, safe for streaming music. Maybe we'll do a stream with that playlist that he sent me. I like a wide range of stuff. I think going back to some Welsh fiddly diddly might be the wrong sort of vibe, especially for these evening streams. But I put it on in the background. I need to reply to that. No, I'd give them a listen, and then if I enjoyed them and thought they were the right vibe, I'd add them. I don't think I'd just give. Oh, perhaps you could. That's a good idea, actually. I'll do a poll. Always looking for music to print carved by. That's a great idea. Okay. Well, I can set that up, and maybe what we could do it is just like general song suggestions, and maybe stuff like albums I'm enjoying. I listen to a new album like once a week. I try and sit down and like listen through, and if I like it, I'll really listen to it a couple of days that week. So maybe I could put an album suggestion once a week. Another job for me to do, but it could be fun. It's been I haven't been so low, have I? I've been a bit quiet, I think, but it's been a mellow stream. Lots of talk about knives and stuff, which I think